She placed her baby in a hospital bin. When confronted, Alexi Trevizo said that it wasn't crying. Nothing was crying. Here's the body cam footage just so I can remind you guys.
I discovered a dead baby in the bathroom. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It came out of me and I didn't know what to do. Alexi,
So she said right there, it came out of me. I didn't know what to do. That's her mom right there. That's the ER doctor that was attending her.
I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth. It was not crying.
I think she said it was scary. She's turning to the doctor saying it was not crying.
What did you do to it? Okay, stop right here. Stop. Number one priority.
So at that point where the mom is demanding, what did you do to it? I kind of wish the ER doctor would let her reply because I want to know too. I mean, we know obviously after the fact that they found the baby in the trash bin. And so I just want to hear from her side of the story because I don't know if we ever get a interrogation out of Alexi Trevizo. I don't know if we're ever going to see that, but I would really love to hear from her side of the story because, we're going to pick at it. It's a little bit blurry, but I'll do my best to read it to you guys. So we have the postmortem examination, Office of the Medical Investigator. We have a doe baby, John. I think people have found out that Alexi and her family may have named the baby Alex. In one of the police body cam footages where they're going to arrest Alexi Trevizo, the officer actually walks through her house and we get a little bit of the house tour. But someone, I think maybe it was someone on TikTok, but someone noticed that there was sort of like a little, it seemed like maybe like a baby shrine. It had the name Alex on it. It looked like it had some baby clothes. It looked like it was being memorialized. So they thought maybe they decided to name Alexi Trevizo's deceased baby Alex. So I think everyone's calling it baby Alex at this point. Date and time of death pronouncement. This happened on January 27th, 2023. So, wow, it really, I feel like it was just January. I can't believe so much time has passed. But January 27, 2023, 2:28 a.m. So remember, guys, initially when Alexi Trevizo went into the hospital, she was complaining of back pain. I think that her boyfriend said that she was complaining of back pain for a while. I think for maybe 12 hours, it seems. It could have been that maybe Alexi Trevizo's body was slowly going to labor, but she went to her mom, went to her parents, was like, hey, I have back pain. It's really bad. And they took her to the hospital. Now, while at the hospital staff was like, hey, is it possible that you could be pregnant? And she adamantly just denies, no, there's no absolute way. I've never had sex before. I'm a virgin. No absolute way. And the nurses, the hospital staff, they're like, okay, but they do some tests. I think they do a urine test. And at some point they do a blood test as well. And from my understanding, it gets a little bit convoluted whether or not they got the test back. But I think from my understanding was they were still waiting to get the blood results back. At this point, this is when Alexi Trevizo runs into the bathroom. She had to go to the bathroom really bad. And we actually have a security camera footage of it, which to me, it's one of the most chilling things I've ever seen. I don't know. It's just something about it because after you see her running into the bathroom, she's running to the bathroom. She's kind of holding her back a little bit, her butt region area. At this point, maybe this is when the baby's about to come out. Maybe the baby's crowning and she rushes in and she's in the bathroom for a little bit. People check up on her mom check up on her, the hospital staff check up on her. At some point, the hospital staff is like, hey, if you don't come out right now, we're going to get the keys and we're going in there because they don't know what the heck is going on, right? And so when they finally were able to find the keys, they went there, tried to unlock it, but she opened the door. She came out, she had a paper towel in her hand, took the paper towel, wiped her hands, walked towards the trash bin, and just threw the trash in there. And it was just, it just seemed so nonchalantly. And something about that was just really, I don't know, it just gave me chills because it was just the way that she acted was just kind of okay, no, nothing happened. Everything's chill. Meanwhile, the hospital staff, while they're opening the bathroom, they're probably like, what happened in here? What is going on? One of the housekeepers, or the housekeeper, I think her name was Leela. She said there was blood everywhere. There was blood on the floors. There was blood on the walls. There was splatters. And it looked like it was attempted that someone tried to clean it up with a paper towel because it was kind of there's blood everywhere, but it was kind of when you clean something up and you're cleaning with a paper towel, but you're not cleaning it all the way because sometimes the paper towels in the bathrooms aren't really absorbent. You're kind of just moving things around. So she said it looked like someone attempted to clean it, but I don't know, something about that hospital footage, just seeing her walk out of the bathroom, it was just so chilling. I don't know. It was just really, really weird. And it could be a sign of someone who just went through extreme trauma and is trying to process it. But I don't know. It's just watching the body cam footages, watching her demeanor, her saying nothing was crying. It wasn't crying. I don't know. It's just something about her. It just seems really fucking off. Taxi says, I read that Alexi had told a fellow student that she knew she was pregnant, that she already picked a name for the child. I did read about that. For news like that, it's like I'm taking it in, but I take it with a grain of salt. You know, I'm just going to wait for more. I don't know, maybe like the trial. Like if there's a trial that comes out, right? We don't know if they're going to do a trial or not, but we're pretty sure. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there'll be a plea bargain or something like that. But I don't know. I'll actually wait until if that person decides to testify, like go up in front of the jury, go in front of like everyone and testify and say that, hey, Alexi told me that she was pregnant and Alexi did pick out a name. So yeah, news like that, I'm just taking it with a grain of salt. We'll see. But it's like sensational news, right? People like when they read stuff like that, like, oh my God, this is like so crazy and stuff. But I just try to chill out a little bit. You know, let's just wait for more information to come out. And especially with like the Alexi Trevizo Reddit, I think some of the members were getting a little bit concerned because there are people that are popping up was like, hey, I know her, ask me anything. But there was like, they were kind of concerned that there was like maybe no verification process to really find out if they actually even knew her or if it's just a rando on the internet who's just pretending they know things when they really don't, right? But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I get people in my chat that come in, they're like, oh yeah, I know this person, I know that person. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But like, you know, I never really 100% fully believe it. I just take it with a grain of salt. But anyways, I'm not gonna say oh my God, you're a liar or anything, but I'm just like, okay, you know, interesting, cool. You know, I'll listen to what you're saying. But yeah. The fact that they medicated her with narcotics before receiving the pregnancy test results as part of her defense, according to the attorney. Yeah, that's a very interesting one, Chantel, because what they gave her, I believe it was like pain medications, which has anyone here ever gave birth before? From my knowledge, when you give birth, sometimes you are given pain medication. So what kind of pain medication would she have been given that would have caused the baby to have been subsequently aborted, right? And I think she also got like maybe like IV drips. IV drips, what is that going to do to the baby? So I don't know. It's very interesting to see what her defense team is going to come out with. I think so far her lawyer is like, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the lawyer. He's like, the baby wasn't alive. He said that for sure. And then he blamed the hospital staff for giving her medication that could have possibly caused her to lose her baby. So it's like, okay, blame the hospital staff. And then he also blamed the hospital staff for the fact that she lost her baby. And I think, God, I wish, what did he say verbatim? Essentially, it was like she came into the hospital to get care. She needed their help or something. And then they ended up not even taking care of her and causing her to lose her baby. I don't know. The blame game thing, I don't know, especially with the fact that like we know how badly she traumatized the hospital staff that night, the housekeeper. And the fact that like now they're trying to blame the hospital people. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't rub me the right way. But if they have some concrete evidence that it was the hospital staff's fault, which I doubt, but you know, I'm hoping to, you know, listen to it. But yeah, we'll see. It just rubs me the wrong way, I guess. But we'll wait and see if there's any concrete evidence or anything like that. But I do want to listen to the court TV portion really quick. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just got to like this part.
Dr. Dupree, great to see you tonight. Thank you so much. Let's start first with cause and manner of death here because...
Man, that's totally me, by the way. Streaming and then having dogs yapping in the background.
This is causing a lot of confusion for a lot of folks. Cause of death, entrapment. I've never seen that before.
Okay, so let's read this here. Year of birth 2023, age 0. Death was 127. Agent Barnabas Gonzalez. Was Detective Gonzalez one of the detectives that was interviewing the hospital staff? I actually don't know what their names were. They did an autopsy, date of examination. Oh, they did it like the next day, 128. Cause of death, entrapment. So again, during the interviews, the hospital staff said that they found the baby in the trash bin. And it seemed like it was put into the plastic trash bag and then sort of like twisted a little bit at the top. And then the top was like tucked underneath the baby. I don't know if I described that correctly. Hold on, let me try it again with like the full screen. So baby was placed into the bag. Bag was taken out, sort of twisted at the top a little bit. And then the rest of it was like kind of like tucked underneath. So what we're thinking and what the hospital staff probably thought was this baby died of lack of oxygen. And I think one of the staff members it was a little bit iffy, but she did mention that the bag seemed to be stuck to the baby's face. And it seemed like the detective was like, oh, as if like it was like trying to like, I don't, you know, when you're like, you know, you see it in movies, right? Where like someone has a bag over their head, they're trying to breathe, the bag is like stuck to their face. So I thought she was saying maybe because the baby was breathing, the bag was stuck to their face. But then I think she quickly said like, oh, it was also because there's a lot of like, I think like moisture or something. And that might've been why the bag was stuck to the baby's face. Once she gets up on the, if she ever gets up on the stand, I'm sure the lawyers would definitely clarify that. I just felt like the detectives didn't really clarify it enough because I was like, wait a second, is it because it seemed like the baby was breathing and it was sucking in the airbag, or is it because the baby's face had like moisture, blood, and the bag was just like stuck on the baby's face? But yeah. So we have cause of death entrapment and then manner of death homicide. And again, I think right now, I'm sure at this point, Alexe's defense team has already maybe done their own independent autopsy. That's what I'm assuming, because they're going to get their own expert, go up on the stand, and basically dispute the facts of the first autopsy report, right? However, right now, I found out that the baby has actually been cremated. Baby was cremated and, well, given back to the mother. Let me see if I can pull that up really quick. I saw that somewhere. On April 21st, 2023, I, Detective Corporal James Minter, contacted Turpinning & Sons Funeral Home in reference to the baby doe case. I asked him if there was any report of a burial or a cremation of a baby in February. He stated that the baby was sent to Ballard Funeral Home in Roswell. Once the baby was cremated, he stated that the remains of the baby were sent to the mother, Alexi Trevizo. I asked if it would be possible to get copies of all the paperwork involving the baby. They said they would have to get with the manager. I don't know. If she goes to trial and then we end up finding that she's like guilty, the fact that the baby's remains would be in her possession is just kind of like, I don't know. That's just a major yikes. I feel like if they're ever going to give you any type of medication, any sort of, like anything at all, they would err on the side of caution. Like, hey, in case this person is pregnant, let's just like not give like a huge dose or something like that. I just don't know what kind of dose they would give that would cause the baby to just abort, to the point where like even like in medical standards, it would be considered unsafe to give to a possibly pregnant mother. Tracy says nothing can abort a baby 9 months in the pain category. Yeah, because I'm imagining like, you know, when you're giving delivery, you're giving like pain medication, stuff like that. So you think the mom knew but had so much control over her? Yeah, you know, and when it comes to the mom, honestly, I don't have any issues with the mom right now because I thought her reaction right here seems real to me. I know the internet's disputing whether or not she knew, whether or not Alexi knew. I feel like at this point, I'll just wait for more information to come out. And I don't know if it really matters or not whether they knew. I honestly don't think the mom knew. I think she probably had some inklings, you know, but didn't know 100%. I think Alexi Trevizo probably knew. I'll wait for more information, but I'm not thinking she probably knew. But in terms of like how the mom acted in the body cam footage so far, I think to me it seemed okay. She seemed like she was shocked. She was like, I don't know, like I know a lot of people were judging the mom at her moment like right now, but I feel like this is like one of the worst moments that a parent could ever deal with. But yeah, I don't know. I know later on in the body cam footages though, when Alexi was being arrested, the mom was acting it up a little bit. We didn't like that, but as far as like the body cam stuff like that, I don't know. I don't think the mom knew, but I'll wait for more information to come out. Stephanie, happy birthday. Me too, Kaylee. Happy birthday, y'all. Whose ever birthday it is, happy birthday. Actually, we just celebrated Cheryl's birthday. Cheryl, is he here? No, he's not here actually. Cheryl turned 8 years old and yeah, it was his birthday. I feel really bad for him because he's got a 4th of July birthday, meaning there's a bunch of fireworks and all that stuff. When I was pregnant at 3 months, I dislocated my knee. Ooh, that sounds painful. They gave me a morphine safe dose. Yeah, because I feel like hospital staff is not going to give you something that's going to potentially harm your baby if they think you might be pregnant, right? That's why they're doing all these pregnancy tests on her. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the defense will have something that will prove that the hospital was negligent in some way. I don't know. We'll just see. But right now, I just call BS on that. But, you know, we'll wait and see.
Priority, guys. Number one priority is she just had a baby. I don't know if she's delivered the...
Oh, wait, I'm watching this one.
Been doing this for many years.
Hi, Rick.
I've never seen that before. Manner of death homicide. What do those words mean to you, Dr. Dupree?
Well, the entrapment is, as you would expect, it means that the baby was in a position that they were trapped and couldn't get out. So in the trash can, and most likely suffocated because they were entrapped. And of course, the baby didn't get in there by themselves, so that would be a homicide.
Now, let's take a look at some more findings from this autopsy, which will be very, very significant.
Let's see. We have final pathologic diagnosis: entrapment. A, found tied in a plastic trash bag. B, adrenal hemorrhage. C, no injuries. 2, live-born male newborn. Aerated lungs. I already talked about that. They found that the lungs had air in it and also air in the stomach. No decomposition or maceration. What is I know what laceration is, but what is maceration? Maceration is a chemical removal, dissolving of muscles and other soft tissues in a specimen while leaving the sclerotized or chitinized parts that are needed for identification. What the heck is maceration? Maceration, process of preparing food. No. Carbonic maceration. Maybe something about the muscles, I guess. Maybe like contraction of the muscles. If anyone has a better definition of maceration, let me know. Just put it in the chat. Approximately 38 weeks gestation without injuries or congenital anomalies. Status post-vaginal delivery. Patent foramen ovale and ductus arteriosus. Baby John Doe was a newborn baby boy who died shortly after birth. According to reports, the baby's mother was in the ER room of the local hospital for severe abdominal pain. When tests revealed pregnancy, the mother denied being... Okay, so this is the part where I feel like we're not getting consistent information. Whether or not the test revealed that she was pregnant before the bathroom or after the bathroom. Because my understanding was that they were still waiting for the test results. Like, they got the urine one, I think, but they were waiting for the blood results one, right? Because the blood one is more accurate. It's my understanding they were still waiting for the blood result one. And then she went to the bathroom, and that's when afterwards they found out that she was like pregnant for sure. Like, I think the blood test took too long, but I don't know. This is saying the opposite, saying that like, oh, they had the results. They confronted her and then she denied being pregnant, and then she went to the restroom. So that's something that, like, I don't know. It's like a little nitpicky with information, I guess, but I would like to know that. The mother locked herself in the restroom for some period of time. After the hospital staff had entered the restroom, blood was found on the floor. The mother was taken back to the room in the emergency room and did not mention anything regarding having delivered the baby in the bathroom. Cleaning staff at the hospital were cleaning up the blood in the restroom. When they removed the trash bin from the trash can, they found the baby in the second trash bag under the first. At the bottom of the trash can with bloody paper towels. The trash bag was found and was tied close when it was found. The nurse was notified when the found baby, who was immediately taken for evaluation, where death was pronounced. No resuscitation was attempted. They said that the reason why they didn't even attempt resuscitation was because you can clearly tell the baby has already been deceased. I believe the baby was already like blue, discolored. When questioned about the incident, the mother reported that the baby was not crying or breathing when it was born, so she put it in the trash bag. You're in a hospital, Alexi. That just makes no goddamn sense. The mother was transported to another hospital for treatment. It is thought that the placenta may have been flushed down the toilet. I remember they said that. Autopsy and postmortem computed tomography showed an infant male without any anatomic abnormalities or obvious physical injuries. The lungs were aerated and there was air in the stomach and no changes of decomposition. Again, like, I'm sure they probably have had their own independent person to do their own autopsy report. So we'll see. With the Skylar Richardson case, I remember when the True Crime videos covered that, it looked really bad for Skylar Richardson, but they were able to get their own expert that said that the baby actually was not alive, and it seemed like it was like a stillborn birth. So I don't know, maybe battle the experts, maybe at some point, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if the first autopsy report is correct or not. Mother was concerned that Alexi said that she had sex or something, and she was like, oh, why didn't you tell me? But like, I don't know. You just got to understand teenagers, right? Teenagers, like, yeah, you want to have an open communication dialogue with their teens and stuff, but there are things that they're just not going to tell you. And is it really abnormal for teenagers not to tell their parents that they had sex for the first time? No. Ideally, you would want your kids to tell you everything, but sometimes it just doesn't happen, right? Even if the baby was stillborn, couldn't she be charged with abuse of corpse? I don't know, possibly. The lab was reportedly backed up. I think they were getting ready to tell her the pregnancy results were pregnant, and then in the moment ran to the bathroom. That's what I remember, Jen. That's what I remember. Because I think when I was trying to listen in on the different hospital staff interviews, none of it was really clear. But one person in their interview, it seemed like they were really clear that like, oh, they were waiting for the labs. It was backed up. And then that's when she went to the bathroom. So that's what I remember too. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, sometimes when you're playing telephone, sometimes information just gets lost, right? So right now, the forensic pathologists are probably getting the information maybe from like police reports, or maybe like it's like police reports getting it from the hospital staff, and maybe there could be some discrepancies.
Very, very significant. Live born male newborn. Lungs, air and stomach, no decomposition. Tell us a little bit about that, what that means, because I think part of the defense here will be that this child was not born alive, that this was a stillbirth, or perhaps.
And the lawyer has already come out and he already did an interview saying that like the baby was not alive.
Died very quickly after taking 1 or 2 breaths.
Right. The most important thing for us to determine in cases like this is whether or not the child was born alive or not. And one of the ways that we test that is to determine if.
So that's her running to the bathroom.
If there was air in the lungs. And we can do that in a couple of different ways. We can do it microscopically by identifying that the alveoli.
That's her mom checking in a couple minutes after.
In the lungs had expanded and were air filled. We can also do that by floating the lungs in water. The lack of maceration tells us that the baby was not dead in utero. So we really have all indications here that it was a live birth.
Okay, now.
I guess I'm just surprised in like pending cases that you can have the body cremated. But I mean, we've always heard about that, right? But I feel like, I don't know, there's like a pending case. I feel like, I don't know, the body should not be cremated, but.
Another thing, because I spoke with her attorney at length, he joined us on the show. One of the things he said is that that hospital had administered some drugs before the test results were back that she was pregnant. Could those drugs have played any sort of a role, whether it's morphine or something for her pain?
I don't know. I just don't believe that. I don't understand what kind of strong ass drugs they would have given her that would not have been hospital. That would have been against hospital procedure to give to someone who could potentially be pregnant.
She was in there for back pain. I know we don't have the time.
Unless she's just like a one-off case that just has really, maybe her body, maybe the fetus had just a bad reaction. But still, like, would that really be the hospital staff's fault?
Toxicology results for you, doctor. But what would you be looking for? And could that play a role in all of this?
Well, it could, but obviously it depends on exactly what those drugs were and what their purpose was. If it was some kind of narcotic, or was it a painkiller that was not a narcotic, exactly what were they? But drugs can have an effect on pregnancy. They can cause the pregnancy to come early, and then they can also do some damage to the fetus itself. It just depends on what they were. And unfortunately, we don't know at this point in time.
Will the
Oh man, she's got her dogs in the background. I think they're like play fighting or something. Oh really? I haven't caught up with that. Yeah, we haven't caught up with the Taylor stuff yet. Yeah, I know her stuff's coming up soon. You know who's coming up soon? 7-Eleven. Sarah Boone, 7-Eleven pretrial stuff. So we'll see if her trial is gonna end up happening in like 2 weeks. I don't know. I haven't looked up any updates yet.
Toxicology be able to render those results?
Yes, it definitely should be able to.
So now I'm going to ask you another question, because I've covered so many trials through the years. There are experts like you who testify, but then there's always, not always, but most of the time there's an expert on the other side. When it comes to whether or not this was a stillbirth, could you see any scenario where a forensic expert would come in and have a differing opinion than the doctor who performed the autopsy, if you're talking about air in the stomach, aerated lungs? Is that something that could be in the gray area, or is that something that's pretty crystal clear and you would expect doctors to agree on?
That is pretty crystal clear. I would expect doctors to agree on that. If the baby took a breath or breaths, there should be air in the lungs, and there was.
So looking at where this battle may be, I have a feeling it may be related to
Possible. Like if she was given some sort of painkiller, before, right? So she arrived at the hospital. Maybe they gave her some painkiller. Maybe they gave her like an IV drip or something like that. It's possible the painkiller could have helped her a little bit when she was in the bathroom giving birth.
That toxicology that we don't have yet. Do you see a scenario there where doctors could have different opinions about the effects and impacts that the drugs had on this child?
Yes, absolutely. And again, it depends on what those drugs were and at what point they were administered. If it was something that could affect the fetus, that could affect the pregnancy, whether it enhanced it or whether it retarded it in some way, it absolutely could play a role.
All right, doctor, I want to play one more thing for you here. This was the charge nurse during a police interview. Here's what he said about his observation. Significant.
There, she had him wrapped in one and twisted and then folded under him, and 2 more on top of him, and then another trash can, a clean one, in the trash. So when I broke it open, he was tucked here, and there was nothing.
Sorry you had to go through that. I'm serious.
Yeah, well, everybody, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I know. Innocence, the placenta had...
No,
okay. That's
we
why
shipped
she's
her,
blood.
yeah, that's
okay.
where she went to Loveless.
Roswell.
Yeah, my honest opinion, I honestly think she killed the fucking baby. I think she killed the baby. I think she wanted to hide that she was pregnant. She wanted to hide all traces. That's why she tried to clean up. She tried to quickly, not even get like hospital staff. Like, I think she really fucked up here. And I think she fucking did it. But I mean, I'm open to ears, when the defense presents their case. But the fact that she gave birth, and let's say if it was a stillborn, well, the fact that she went through so much trouble to really clean it up and to really conceal the baby's body, like, I don't know, that just speaks a lot. I think she was just trying to hide it. Like, I don't know, so fucking stupid. Ugh.
Okay.
I'm a birth worker. There are many, many drugs that are safe for pregnancy and labor. Yeah, Ms. Morton, that's why I just don't buy the whole thing with like the defense attorney saying they're like, oh, they gave her medication that caused the baby to die, possibly.
I'm sorry. I misheard what I'm sorry.
Yeah, she still hadn't delivered the placenta.
And you know what really gets me? I mean, this fucking video oh my God, it just gives me the goosebump. This is when they finally were able to get her to open the door. She comes out like just nonchalantly wiping her hands off with a paper towel, and she's like, I don't know. I think the ER doctor may have said something. She like turns, she keeps walking, just nonchalantly just throws the fucking trash in the bin. I don't know. There's just something about this where I'm just like, like, I don't know. When I watched it for the first time, I was just sitting here at my desk and I was just like, I don't know. I feel like when the jury sees this, if it ever goes to a jury trial, they're just going to be like, I don't know. And then something about all this, like the casualty of it. Sorry, not the casualty, but like casualness. Sorry, casualness is the word I meant. I don't know. Oh, God. I don't know. But we'll wait. We'll see. I mean, my gut feeling just says that she just wanted to hide it. And she didn't want anyone to know that she was pregnant. And she really thought she was going to get away with it. But Jesus. What else is there?
Doctor, anything there significant?
Absolutely. What he describes is intentional. The baby was wrapped up and tucked in into this plastic bag and around this plastic bag. And that was intentional. There was no way that this baby would survive that.
And the umbilical cord. A lot of people are wondering, like, how does someone by themselves in a bathroom take care of that part of the delivery? What scenario do you see there potentially for cutting the umbilical cord?
Well, the umbilical cord is typically not that thick anyway. It can actually be torn.
I don't know. I'm hearing different things about the umbilical cord. I hear that the umbilical cord is actually kind of meaty and it's not easy to just rip with your hand, maybe with your teeth. I don't know, or like your nails maybe, but I don't know. I keep hearing different things about the umbilical cord.
If there's no sharp instruments to make a cut, it can be torn and severed that way.
And
Your hand?
the status of that cord have any impact on the health of the child in terms of figuring out what happened here?
Not maybe so much in figuring out what.
Umbilical cord is thick. It's not that thick. See, I have no idea. Maybe it's one of those things where it could be thick depending on the person, and maybe not thick depending on the person. Even with surgical scissors, it's pretty tough to cut. That's what I heard. But
What happened, but we always examine the umbilical cord when we have newborns. We examine that and the placenta, but it's for cases of infection or for cases of things like blood clots that would prevent the baby from getting the proper oxygenation. And that doesn't appear to be what happened in this case.
Dr. Michelle Dupree, thank you so much for your help and your insight. Always appreciate it.
I don't know. Maybe next time when I go to my gynecologist, I'll just ask her, because she also gives birth to. She helps gives birth to mothers too. So maybe I'll ask her. Your search history, yeah, my search history because of true crime stuff. Sometimes it's a little bit sus, you know.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, let's bring in our think tank. They're live in studio. Assistant DA.
Oh, I did want to read this actually. I thought it was kind of interesting because. As you guys remember, Alexi Trevizo, because there was so much trauma done to her body after giving birth, they were concerned that maybe the placenta could still be inside her. She was bleeding a lot. So they transported her to another hospital. And a lot of people were wondering, okay, when she went to the other hospital, were they able to find the placenta? What happened? And I think this is going to be an interview with, Dr. Barry. I think this is the doctor that received Alexi at the, whoa, why is it not zooming in? Why is it not zooming in? Zoom in. Can I not zoom in? Jesus. I want to zoom in. Okay, this is the best I could do. I'll just read it to you guys. So we have an interview with Dr. Barry, April 19, 2023, 12 a.m. On April 18, 2023, I, Detective Gonzalez, spoke with Dr. Colin Barry of Roswell, New Mexico by Zoom video call. This was recorded in the Axon camera system. Dr. Barry was the obstetrician Alexi Trevizo was transferred to on the July 27, 2023, from Artesia General Hospital to Lovelace Regional in Roswell. I asked Dr. Barry to let us know what occurred on January 27, 2023 with Alexi Trevizo. Dr. Barry said he was contacted by Artesia General Hospital for a patient who just delivered at Artesia General Hospital. Dr. Barry said he told the hospital to send her to him as quick as they could. Dr. Barry said AGH, which is Artesia General Hospital, was worried about bleeding, but the nurses checked her out when she arrived and found that Alexi had an unexpected amount of bleeding. Dr. Barry was on the call, but at the home when he was called by AGH. Oh, but he was at home when he was called by AGH. Dr. Barry said he got to the hospital at a reasonable pace. Dr. Barry said that he examined Alexi for possible surgery, which wasn't needed. Dr. Barry said everything was good after her delivery. Dr. Barry said they watched her for a couple of hours to make sure she didn't have any more problems with bleeding. Dr. Barry said they also watched her to make sure she didn't need a blood transfusion when everything checked out. Released her. I asked Dr. Barry if Alexi delivered any afterbirth while at Lovelace. Dr. Barry said he did not believe she did and checked his notes to confirm. Dr. Barry confirmed she did not. I confirmed Dr. Barry only did post-birth care. Dr. Barry said they checked for tearing and bleeding. I asked Dr. Barry if there's anything else that could have been same symptoms as birth. Dr. Barry asked if I'm asking if he is absolutely sure that she had a baby that morning, ? I said yes. And Dr. Barry said yes, he is absolutely sure that she had a baby that morning. So again, the police, they have to make sure and ask these questions because, I think they're afraid at some point Alexi Trevizo might be like, oh, I didn't give birth. That's not my baby in there. And they were also asking the hospital staff as well, like, hey, did anyone else use that bathroom? Anyone else that could have possibly been pregnant may have used the bathroom. Was there anyone else? So just in case, she's like, oh, that's not my baby. What are you talking about? But, you're going to be able to do a DNA thing. But Dr. Barry said there isn't anything else that could have caused the uterus to get that big, dilate the cervix and the vagina, and cause little tears. I asked how Alexi's demeanor was at the hospital. Dr. Barry said her mom was distraught. Dr. Barry said Alexi was nervous about a pelvic exam, but she was matter of fact. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about her that's just really odd. Like, I don't know. I guess I don't have enough information, but I just feel like she just lacks a lot of emotion. I don't know. I do get the nervousness from her. When the body cam footage, I definitely saw nervousness, but she seemed kind of just like meh. I don't know. Just something about her just kind of ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I asked Dr. Barry about the call-out process, and he informed me of how it is done for him. After getting Dr. Barry's contact information, we ended our conversation. So at this point, the doctor is basically saying that the placenta was not still inside of her. She didn't deliver it when she was transferred to the next hospital. So what, the investigators or maybe the nurses, hospital staff, what they think is she might have just delivered the placenta and then just flushed it down the toilet, because they did say that Alexi Trevizo flushed the toilet multiple times. And maybe, when all that stuff is coming out of your body, maybe it's something that's not easy to flush within the first time. Maybe you got to keep flushing multiple times. But Jesus. At a hospital. Yeah, I know. A lot of people are like, she was at a hospital. Like, even if you weren't at a hospital, it shouldn't happen. But she was at the hospital. She was definitely at the hospital. As far as the hospital giving her meds, the medication didn't cross the placenta. I heard it was Demerol. Cord was having and probably freaked her out, and she pulled it out. Oh, God. Yikes. That just, Okay, we read that, and this is what I already read. I read this as well. So right now the baby has been cremated, and it seems the remains were sent back to Alexi Trevizo. I don't know. Do we have anything else with... Oh, I did want to watch... I think there were some new videos that... Well, not new, but they're videos that I haven't seen yet. So let's watch together. I've already watched the full hospital surveillance footage. Or I don't think we've watched it, but let's just look at the timestamps. So this is when she's running to the bathroom. Oh, God, so chilling. Mom checks up on her like 40 seconds later. Yeah, it's just so crazy. Okay, it's mom checking up on her. Mom checks up on her again. And then we have, I know a lot of other people also check up on her as well. Let's see. Doctor points to the bathroom, speaks with staff, waits outside. Doctor points towards the bathroom. They get closer. They open the door. She exits the bathroom. Staff exits bathroom after checking and alerts more staff. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. And I think they're seeing maybe we can't see it because the surveillance is kind of blurry, but I don't know. It seems like they're pointing to the floor. Maybe there's some blood footprints or something. Some driplets. Staff is going in and they're just like, oh my God. Yeah, I also see her looking down as well. So there must have been some maybe a little bit of bloody footprints or something like that. Housekeeping arrives. Found baby in bin. So I was actually surprised that the trash bin was like that. It just seems like a little plastic trash bin. I thought it was gonna be one of those trash bins where it's connected to the wall and there's a paper towel dispenser, and then underneath it is the stainless steel trash bin. But it looks like it's just a plastic bin. Yeah, you can see her bending down and she's like, what is this? Call the staff over. That's the head charge nurse. That's the housekeeper. Jesus. Maybe they're alerting the ER doctor right now. Oh, I think I remember that. Amy says lawyer says they never told her that she was pregnant. Oh my God, he's so dumb. I think I remember that too. That's the ER doc. Oh my God, dude. I can't imagine. Oh my God. And they're taking the bin. Yeah, I feel so bad for her. Yeah, because she was just because she was the one who was cleaning the bathroom. And she's like, man, if only I somehow just checked the trash bin, and if only I discovered sooner, maybe I could have saved the baby. And I know she has thoughts like that. It's just I don't know, it's just really sad. Doctor and staff hugs the housekeeper. Oh my God, I feel so bad for her. Oh. Yeah, just incredibly sad. The identity of the father is still unknown. Am I correct? Well, her boyfriend was in the body cam footage, and they do think that the boyfriend could have been the father, but I don't know. And the fact that, like, I don't know. I feel like Alexi Trevizo could just be one of those, like, idiots who just really panicked and then thought she can conceal her baby. But, like, I feel like with the way that she acted, it would have made more sense if maybe she was impregnated by someone else that she didn't want her mom to know who that was. I don't know. Like, this is definitely like conspiracy theory land, but like, I feel like the way that she acted was just really, really weird. While it's possible that she could have just been impregnated by her boyfriend, a longtime boyfriend of like 2 years, but the way that she acted, I was just like, maybe there's more to this that we just don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe she was R-worded by someone, or maybe it's like, I don't know. Maybe she doesn't want her mom to know who the father is. We just don't know any of that yet. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. She didn't want to disappoint her mom. Yeah, I mean, I could see that too, but I don't know. It's just so weird. That's like on a severe level of just like being shit scared of how your parents are going to react. Like, I don't know. Like, ugh, but we'll see, we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll find out that something actually happened to her, and then the reason why she didn't want anyone to know about this baby was a lot bigger than we thought. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But let's see. What did I want to watch? Okay, so this is go back really quick. I don't think I watched this yet. Interview with House Supervisor. I don't think I watched this yet. Did we watch this yet? Do you guys recognize this? Oh, it's muted right now.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know if they did a DNA test with the father yet.
Hello.
Like, I don't know. They probably did, but I don't know if they released that information to us yet. So.
Lord.
Is that a bad thing? I'm Marina.
I've met you before.
Hi.
Oh, is she the one that took pictures? I know one of the hospital staff thought that it might have been potentially a crime scene and took photos. Is she the one that took pictures? I haven't seen this one yet. Oh, they did. Okay. Okay, then. Yeah, because I was just thinking, like, what if this was a product of, like, I don't know, maybe it was, like, incest or something, or maybe she was R-worded and she didn't want anyone to know. Maybe she went to a party or something. Like, I don't know. But I wasn't going to entertain that until we actually hear stuff about it, so. The nurse took pictures before the custodian was called. Is that who took the pictures? I don't think they interviewed the person that took pictures yet, right? I know they said that, they went on vacation or something, so the detective was going to get in contact with them.
I've seen you lots of times.
I met you too.
So, Detective Gonzalez, Detective Mentor.
Okay.
So we're just talking to you about the incident happened on January 27th.
Okay.
Can you just tell us from the beginning of your contact with the patient or the baby from last
The
contact with
incident?
either? Yes.
Okay. So I was up at the medical floor, and the ER tech had called and said, the doctor wants you to call in the on-call lady for the ultrasound. So I'm like, okay. So I called in the ultrasound tech, and then I don't know how much time lapsed. I don't know that the house supervisor phone rang again, and it was the girl from the lab, and she's like, Marina, they need you here in the ER right now. And I was like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm sure by now the detectives have the photos.
Because I had noticed the ER board on the computer. There was like maybe 2 or 3 patients in the ER, I'm not sure. And she's like, well, and I'm like, it's okay. I could just tell by her voice something was wrong.
Sorry, the audio goes like up and down. I'll try to adjust the audio accordingly.
So we hang up and I take off to the ER. And as I'm coming in through the radiology department into the ER, I meet up with Lori and HT, who was the charge nurse that night. And HT says, okay, look, this is what's happened. This girl came in with abdominal pain, and once we put her in a room, she said she needed to go to the bathroom. We let her go to the bathroom, and she was there for a good while. They had several attempts to knock on the door and ask her, hey, are you okay? Do you need any help? And she said no, she was okay. And so I guess they felt like she was in there for too long, so they were like, hey, you need to come out. They went to get the little key that could open the door. And, excuse me. So I guess when they opened the door, they saw that she was cleaning. She was trying to clean blood. They said it was a horrible, gory, bloody mess in that bathroom. I did not see that. So then they walked her back, I guess, to her room, which was ER room 2. They walked her back to the room, and at this time we still didn't know that there was a baby. So they said that they went back into the ER room 2, and I guess.
Yeah, honestly, the fact that she named, or we think that she named the baby Alex, I feel like it was just like a lazy name to give. It's like, oh, my name is Alexi, I guess Alex. Okay, let's just name the baby Alex. I don't know. I feel like it was just like a lazy thing to do. If she named the baby Alex.
They reported to the doctor saying, hey, here's all this blood, like something's going on. And of course, you start thinking of like, what if she tried to do this? What if she tried to do that? Like they didn't know. So then the ultrasound tech still hadn't got to the hospital at that time yet. So the doctor's like, you know what, I need to probably do like a pelvic exam to look, because like what's going on? Why is there so much blood?
Yeah, and one of the hospital staff said that they were afraid that she would hurt herself because, she was denying the pregnancy to her mom, didn't want the mom to know that she may have been possibly pregnant, having sex, whatever. So they thought she was hurting herself. They probably didn't even think that she would even try to hurt the baby. That probably didn't really come across their mind. They're probably like, oh my gosh, she's going to hurt herself. She's going to do something to herself. But,
So the charge nurse HT says that, they were in the room and probably trying to set up for the pelvic exam when Lori, the ER tech, had already called Leela, the housekeeper. Hey, can you come and clean this bathroom? Because there's a lot of blood. So Leela went to clean, and she had already been cleaning pretty much everything when they said that the last thing that she lifted the trash can and she realized that it was heavy. And so then she was like, like this is weird because this bathroom trash has never been heavy. So she said that when she looked, that she wasn't sure what it was, but she kind of thought that what she was seeing was maybe like a baby. So she says that she yelled out for Lori, and Lori went in there and grabbed it, and I guess sure enough realized that there was a baby in there. So Lori yelled out for HT, or went to get HT. I'm not sure exactly.
Why didn't the mom just put her on birth control at 16 or 17 just in case? I did with my daughter just in case. I think the conversation could have went, hey, when you start having sex, let me know. And at that point, that's probably when the birth control thing would have been, implemented, right? Condoms or whatever the fuck. But it's possible that Alexi Trevizo just didn't tell her mom when she started having sex. I mean, obviously didn't. And that's why they never had that birth control talk, right? Yeah. You can't wait for the Corey Richens trial, dude. She is trying to sue the husband's estate right now. They're suing her for the book sales. Like, it's a whole mess. But yeah, I can't wait for more information to come out. What's the boyfriend's name? I think Devin Fierro, and I think it's like Devin spelled with a Y, I think.
Were you at the nurse's station at this point?
No, they still had not told me about that because
Okay.
they didn't know that there was a baby. So I was still at the medical floor.
Okay.
And so then HT, when he's telling me this story, HT tells me that he goes, grabs the trash can, and he lifts the bag, realizes there's a baby in there, so he takes it right across the hall to trauma 2, tears open the bag, realizes the baby's there, and it was
you
lifeless.
didn't witness any of this?
So at the time, he's telling me that, so he's like, so come on, he's telling me everything I just said is from HT's story.
Okay.
And so then he's like, so come on, here it is. And so I walk into the trauma 2 room, and sure enough, the baby's on the gurney where he had placed the baby, lifeless. And the trash can is right by the gurney. So, like, of course, I was in utter shock. Like, you know, we were all just in shock. And so they had already called the police. The doctor, I think initially at the time, was about to do a pelvic exam to look to see where all this blood was coming from. And HT had gone and told her, hey, I need you right now. Like, you need to come with me.
One of the x-ray techs that Alexi asked, well, what happened if I stop taking birth controls and start taking weight loss pills? Yeah, and I think what she responded to the detectives was like, to her, it seemed like if she stopped taking birth control pills, is because she realized that she was pregnant and she didn't want the weight loss, or she didn't want the weight gain to be prevalent to other people. So that's why she took weight loss pills. And that was just her theory on it. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting.
And took her to trauma 2, showed her what had happened.
I know. I wish we were able to get her response when her mom asked the body cam, what did you do to it? But the ER doctor like interjected, and yeah, I wish we can get more information from her, because I do want to know, because like all so far we've heard from her, she's saying, she said that like, she said she was scared and it just came out. It wasn't crying. Nothing was crying. That's all we've heard from her so far.
And were you still in trauma 2?
So, no. So that happened like before.
Oh, okay.
That happened before I got there.
If you suffocate your baby, it tends not to cry.
So then when HT told me all of that, when I came out of trauma 2, HT and Dr. Vasquez, and the authorities, the police officers were just getting there. And I know that Dr. Vasquez went and HT went out like to that little area inside the hospital, but like where the ambulance comes in, and they kind of were giving the police like a heads up of what had happened.
I don't think the doctor was trying to protect her legal rights. I think the doctor was just trying to, hey, let's not badger her right now because, you know, we got to figure out what's going on with her and she might need to be transferred, because like the doctor was afraid that, you know, she doesn't want Alexi Trevizo to go into like some sort of like, I don't know, like she wasn't sure what the status of Alexi Trevizo was. Yeah, that's why they had her transferred, because she was bleeding a lot and all that stuff. So I don't think the doctor was like, oh, let's protect her legal rights. I think the doctor was just like, okay, well, let's just make sure you're not dead next, and make sure that we take care of you.
So then after that, I really didn't know what happened, because I was on the phone with my chain of command, because I needed to know, like, you know, this has never happened. I didn't, as a house supervisor, I didn't know what I needed to do, if there was any paperwork that I needed to do, if we were supposed to register this lifeless body. Like, I didn't know. So
you called your chain of command for guidance?
I called, yeah, for questioning. So I called Patty, who's the CNO, Patty Bartok, and I called her.
Someone mentioned she looked so 8 months pregnant in that side profile in the cheerleader outfit, and that picture was 8 weeks before birth. You know what? I go back and forth about that. There are some videos that I've seen where I'm like, oh yeah, she looks pregnant. And there's some pictures I look at, I'm like, oh God, she just looks like like chubby. Like I feel like if you like really are looking, you'd be like, yeah, she's pregnant. Or if you're like close up next to her and maybe you're part of like her cheerleading squad, right? You'll probably notice the weight gain and you probably have some inklings like, hey, this bitch might be pregnant or something. But I don't know. I go back and forth. So like I was looking at, let's see, did I save these pictures? Give me a second to capture this really quick. Photos app? No, I don't capture pictures. How do I capture this? Okay, how about this? So I was just kind of like digging around in the photos. This is her in September. Where is she at? So I think this is her because it seems like when you do like cheer stuff, you're probably always like in the same position. So she's always like, oh fuck, go back. So this is her in September. Right, 4 months before giving birth. I don't really see too much. Zoom out. Is there a faster way to zoom out? This is her again in October. Not really seeing too much, but she's also kind of blocking it. This is her in December, so about almost 2 months before. So see, she's looking kind of pudgy right there. Same thing here. Right, this is her in, this is her 3 weeks before she gave birth. So I know this is like a front profile. Like she just kind of looks chubby. Like, I don't know. Like usually when I think of pregnant women, I think of like big belly, like boom. And also she's like 5 foot tall. That just looks pudgy to me. This is, let's keep going. Here's her from, again, 3 weeks before giving birth. So she looks pudgy, but I'm not sure if she looks freaking 9 months pregnant at this point. Because again, when you're 5 foot tall, I'm thinking like big belly. You see, is she around here? This is her again. Yeah, same thing. 3 weeks before giving birth. And I think she's like back here. I don't know, like back there. So she kind of looks pudgy right here. Oh, you guys can't. Oh, sorry. Can you guys not see it? Sorry, it like cuts off. But I don't know. In these pictures, I was like, oh gosh, she just does look super, super, super pregnant to me. But then people were posting some videos. I was like, oh, like when she arches her back, you could definitely see the belly when she arches her back. So I don't know if maybe her mom doesn't attend the football games, you know? Maybe the mom doesn't go to the football games, but maybe when she's at home, she just wears a lot of baggy clothes and you can't tell that she's pregnant because the hospital staff said the same thing. They said they couldn't tell that she was pregnant really because she was wearing loose clothes. But
and I said, hey, look, this is what's going on and I need to know what I need to do for legal purposes. And so she was like, well, Marina, you know, like, I don't really know. Let me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. When she leans backwards, you can totally tell. But like, how often are you walking around with your back like arched like this, right? When she does like when you're in the side profile and she's like leaning backwards to like do whatever the fuck that she's doing, you can see it. But when she's around her mom, it wouldn't surprise me if she wore sweatpants and she probably walked around like this, you know? So she would try to conceal the belly.
Let me have you call Cindy Buck, who is Cindy Buck is like.
But I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it really matters whether or not her mom or even her knew that she was pregnant. I don't think it's a huge deal because at the end of the day, the baby was still found in a bin. So I don't know if it really mattered too much.
For legal purposes. And so she was like, well, Marina, you know, like, I don't really know. Let me have you call Cindy Buck, who is Cindy Buck is like in charge of medical records. And she deals a lot with the birth certificates or death certificates. And so she said, so why don't you call her and then I'll get legal on the team, you know, on the phone and see if I can find out what needs to be done. So, but then after that, like I was on the phone with Cindy and then after that, like Patty was calling me.
Like this picture for sure looks like she's pregnant. I just don't know where they found this picture. Let me see. This one right here. This picture right here, back is arched, like you can see, but again, she's like arching her back, and I don't think she's walking around like that normally, right? Especially around her parents. So I'm sure she's probably like walking like this, make sure no one can see that her stomach is protruding. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this picture is from. This must be like from a Facebook or something like that. Because I was like, oh, what if it was like photoshopped or something? I don't know. But yeah.
And then all of administration basically were calling me like.
And is that your job?
That's my job.
That's your job.
Yeah, as a house supervisor, like I'm in kind of charge of like everything that happens during the night in this facility, and so, and even Dr. Salgado called me and was wanting to see what had happened, and he told me that he was awake. He was already planning on coming in, you know, to speak to the doctor, and so. Cindy Buck actually had told me, okay, like, yes, we need to register the baby, and like as a, you know, like a Jane Doe or whatever, like infant male, but there's also like a paper that I need you to, you know, ask her. There's a paper that you need to ask her, and the nurses fill out. And it's very important that you, that we know whether or not the baby took a breath or whether or not the baby did not take a breath. And I said, okay, well, so at that time I said, because every nurse by that time had been telling me that this patient had been kind of changing up little bits and pieces of her story while she was in the presence of her mom, I guess. So when I said, okay, I'll try to, you know, get the truth out of her, then...
Oh, she got to talk to her?
Well, whether you have to ask the mother to leave the room, but we need to know.
Oh, she talked to her.
So I went and I found the form that Cindy was talking about, and I go into the patient's room and I introduce myself, and I said, there's just a few questions that I need to ask you, and most of it was like, you know, first and last name, date of birth, social security number, which she didn't know, and then whether or not she knew, whether or not she took any kind of medications, and then so I said, so, you know, right now it's very important that you're very honest and truthful with me. I said, and it was just she and I in the room, and
Mom wasn't there?
Mom was not there.
Okay.
And I said, did your baby take at least one breath when it first happened? Or did it take at least one breath, or was it not breathing? And then she kind of looked at me in the face and the eyes, and she was like, well, can I tell you? And I said, tell me what? And she said, so I've been having this bad abdominal pain, she said, and we came here to the ER, and when they brought me back here to this room, I felt like I needed to go poop. She said, and I asked if I could go to the bathroom. She said, and so when they said, yeah, that I could go to the bathroom, she said, when I sat on the toilet, she said, it just all fell out. And she said, but when I had it in my arms, it wasn't breathing, it wasn't moving. And so, of course, you want to be very, very judgmental at that time, and you have to bite your tongue sometimes, but, you know, my first reaction was like, I wanted to say, hey, well, then why wouldn't you call us for help? But I didn't. She said, so I just, he wasn't moving, he wasn't breathing, so I just placed him in there.
Was that the last contact
And
you had with her?
Then,
Dude, they're just like us right now. The detectives are just like, what? Like, we're just all shocked.
so then I asked, so do you have, was it a steady boyfriend? She said yes. And then I said, did he know that you were pregnant? And she was like, no. I said, did you know that you were pregnant? And she said, no. And then I said, so do you want to include him? Because there was a section for like the...
My question is, if you didn't know that you were pregnant, why would you stop taking birth controls and then start taking weight loss pills? Can't you just be on both at the same time? Can you not take those two at the same time?
Birth certificate. And I said, so do you want to put his name down?
Wait, I'm actually curious if, because the autopsy report didn't mention anything about, let's say the baby did fall into the toilet, right? She delivered birth, it all went out in the toilet. Assuming head first, wouldn't they be able to find some traces of like maybe some water in the baby's lungs, in the nose? Unless the baby's head hit the toilet in such a way that it wasn't exposed to the toilet water.
As the father, and she said, for what? And I said, you know, this is all new to me too, so this would probably be for the birth certificate as well as a death certificate. And she said no, that she didn't want to put him down.
Why?
And I said, okay. So I think she had to sign it, and she signed it, and then that was it. That was the only contact that I had with her. And then of course, they were transferring her to Roswell to be seen by an actual OBGYN doctor. But that because after that, I was just on the phone with.
And then also, if Alexi Trevizo was resourceful enough to get birth controls on her own, to get weight loss medication on her own without her mom knowing, I don't know. She sounds a bit resourceful to me, doesn't she? I don't know. There's just so many weird things about this.
My administration team.
Because you're in charge of like the whole operation, so you just had to make sure everything was flowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I had to make sure that if there was paperwork that needed to be signed or filled.
Well, I'm assuming her water probably broke when she was at home. That's what I'm assuming. Water probably broke when she was at home. Labor's intensifying, back pain, and she's like, oh shit, like what the fuck do I do? Tells her mom she's gonna go to the hospital because she's probably panicking at that point because it probably hurts a lot. It's probably super painful. And then when she went to the bathroom and it all just came out, maybe the baby just like delivered really quickly. My friend who was pregnant at like 13, she told me it was the same thing for her. When she gave birth, like, yeah, her water broke. She went to the hospital and stuff like that. But when she was in labor, she was only in labor for like a couple minutes, she said, and basically the baby everything just came out. But yeah, she said it was like really quick. It wasn't like slow push. It was just like, whoop. But yeah, it probably depends on, probably different for different women, right?
Filled out that I needed to make sure that was done before she got transferred out.
Okay, so you just handled her paperwork before she got transferred out. So you said, how long have you've been here a while?
Yeah, I've been here at this hospital for 23 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Going back to when you were talking to her and she said it wasn't breathing.
There's this underwater birth, but I thought with like underwater birth, they quickly take the baby out from the bathtub. So like, yeah, you can be there for like a quick second, but don't they just quickly take the baby out? The baby just chill in the water.
Yeah.
And
Hi, Joe.
Did she say I just placed it in the trash? Or
She just said I didn't know what to do. She said I didn't know what to do. So I mean, and I don't even really, to be completely honest.
I don't know, man. If you're like 9 years old, maybe, and you're like, I didn't know what to do, and I put it in the trash because I didn't want my mom to find out. Maybe 9 years. I don't know. Even 9-year-olds, I think, would know better. But 19 years old. It's because she wanted to hide it. That's my take right there. My mind can be changed if they really gave me some evidence that showed that, I don't know, maybe she does suffer some mental illness or something and she really didn't know right from wrong or blah, blah, blah. I don't fucking know. But at this point, I think she knew and she just wanted to hide the baby and she cleaned it up.
I don't know if that was her wording, that she placed it in there. I don't know. I don't remember her wording. But I just know that she said it just all came out and she had it in her hands and that she didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to do at the time. And so I'm like, I don't want to say that she said that she placed it because I don't remember.
That's okay. You don't have to.
That's fine. That's fine.
So, other than what we asked you, is there anything else we didn't ask that you think we should know?
Hi.
Aware of, I don't
Okay.
think.
All right. Well, if you have any other things that you like tomorrow, you're like, oh, I forgot to tell them this. Cynthia has my contact information, so you
Okay.
can let her know.
Okay.
So the hospital staff that took the photo, we don't have their interview yet, right? I don't think.
That's Minster's contact information.
Okay.
If you have any more questions, comments, anything you want to add, okay?
Okay,
Thank you for
sounds
coming
good.
in.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you. You're welcome.
What I remember, I think the boyfriend said that he was on the phone with her when she was like, was he with her and then on the phone with her when she was complaining about the pains? I didn't see any tears. Trust me, I don't think any of us did. That's why I told you, like, there's something about her demeanor that just is really off-putting. I see the nervousness, but she just kind of seems very, I don't know, almost aloof. I don't know. You haven't seen the person with the photo. I only heard the nurse say in an interview. Okay, yeah, same here then. Yeah, I was on vacation. Yep. All right. I think there's one more video that I haven't seen yet. Have I seen this? Let me see. I know I saw this one. Police officer speaks with Alexi Trevizo's mom after her arrest. Police officer speaks to Alexi Trevizo's mother days after the incident. I haven't seen this one yet then.
Ms. Rodriguez? Yes.
Is this a police station? That's a nice police station.
Been at the hospital. You've been talking.
Wait, is this sped up? Sorry, what? Whoops. Let me slow it down. All right, that's her mom.
Yes. Been at the hospital. You've been talking to my supervisor.
Yes,
Okay.
Sergeant Chris. Yes. Will it
And-
be you guys tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. I told him at 10 o'clock you could come over.
Okay.
Okay. You and your CYFD person.
Yes.
I'm better. It's
Okay.
just her, but you know.
So have you? Are you family?
Yes, this is her sister. This is
Okay.
my daughter.
I just didn't want to talk about anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you thought about therapy for her?
Not yet, but I was gonna look into it. I was gonna look on the back of the insurance card. They told me there were some numbers on the back.
Yeah. So that's how you go through our.
Oh, okay.
Your insured providers. Just FYI for us, we have PMS here in town. They're the ones that most people are insured through.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
if you want to do in town, we do PMS here, and then we
Okay.
have one in Carlsbad, two in Roswell,
Okay.
that are usually on all of everybody's insurance.
Okay. Did
Something to
you
think about.
hear?
That's nice as a detective. I wonder if this is the same detective that was talking to the hospital staff as well. Was like, hey, if you need to ever talk to someone, definitely look into therapy or, I don't know, go to church or something like that. So kind of nice the detective is talking to them about this.
About like HIPAA was broke and there's like a whole
How?
bunch of rumors out. Some
I heard
of
there
the
was
nurses-
rumors through
yeah.
the high school.
Yeah.
The nurses do talk, but
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. Broken HIPAA, rumors, high school. What are we missing?
HIPAA was broke and there's like a whole
How?
bunch of rumors out. Some
I heard
of
there
the
was
nurses-
rumors through
yeah.
the high school.
Yeah.
The nurses do talk, but
Oh, is she saying that the hospital staff broke HIPAA by telling other people that, hey, this teenager came in and delivered a baby and put in the trash? But is that what she's talking about?
yeah, that's just small town stuff.
But that shouldn't have happened.
It shouldn't
That's why
have.
it's HIPAA.
And
you
I know.
know?
Well, and because I was reading on that, and like on Facebook, everyone's doing all that stuff. Because we did do a disclosure, and that was through our person of contact. That's our PSU command supervisor. So he did do one. He didn't put any name in it or anything like
Okay.
that. And that's just something he did because he was being asked about it for
Okay.
so long.
Okay.
So that one was done, but then I hear like the high school's
Yeah.
talking a lot.
Yeah. I had teachers message me and everything. So.
Really? So everyone already knows.
Yeah. That's the bad thing about a small town.
Yeah, that is the best thing about a small town.
It
But
is.
like I said,
It's possible that the mom genuinely believes Alexi's story when Alexi said, I didn't know I was pregnant, but I did have sex, Mom. I'm sorry about that, but I didn't know I was pregnant. And when I delivered the baby, I don't know. As a mother, how could you get over the fact that your child put your grandson in a trash bin? Even if she panicked and thought that the baby was already dead, I don't know how you would get over that. I don't know. I'm like trying to see it from her perspective. Like, okay, like she's protecting her daughter. She hasn't bonded with her grandson yet. Didn't even know she had a grandson, possibly. I don't know. I don't know. You thought it was suspicious? I didn't think it was suspicious. I thought it was a genuine reaction. But the fact that, like, I don't know, it's been 3 days after the incident, right? And she's pissed that perhaps the hospital staff was talking about it in the small town. Now everyone knows about what happened. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't even have time to even get pissed around at the people around me. I'll be pissed at my daughter. I don't know.
But more importantly, I talked to Innocence about therapy.
Yes. And I am going to keep her home for about a week.
Yeah, the mom's worried about how she will be perceived. If it happened to me and my kid did that, I'd be like, hey, guys, listen, my daughter's a piece of shit. I'm starting to feel like a piece of shit too because I birthed this girl. I don't know. I feel like the fact that she's already kind of like, I already see the defenses coming up, you know? I don't know.
And I am going to look for like therapy for her.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm not a mom though, so.
I'm going to do all of that as much as I can today and tomorrow. So,
Well, appreciate it.
yeah.
At least you're actually a parent that cares.
I love my daughter. She's my everything. But yeah, you guys can come over tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll be there.
We'll
It has a
contact
red roof.
We'll contact.
I don't know if I would even be saying that 3 days after your daughter did what she did. I wouldn't even be like, I love my daughter. She's my everything. I'd be pissed right now. I don't know. Maybe things are different when we become a parent.
Contact you before, make sure it's still okay.
Yeah.
We do that all just
Okay.
before, so that way you're not like forget about it. Some
Yeah.
people do.
No, I won't forget about it.
Okay.
We will be there.
Well, you have.
I wonder what the mom meant when she said, Lexi, I told you about this. My assumption was maybe when they got to the hospital and her mom was like starting to have some inklings like, hey, are you pregnant? And she was denying. And mom is like, are you pregnant? So I think that's what they were probably talking about. Like, I told you about this. I don't know, maybe you're pregnant. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't we talk about it? Why didn't you use birth control? I don't know. Why didn't you protect? I don't know. There's so many different interpretations, so I wouldn't really look into it too much.
Have my number. The supervisor we
Yes.
talked to is Sergeant Perez. He's
Yes,
also.
I've
You
been
have his
talking
number?
to him. Yeah. We've been keeping in contact, so.
All right.
Yeah. Also, do you know like when anything about the autopsy, how fast?
We
nothing?
asked to expedite it.
They had the autopsy the next day. You're thinking like a liberal? I am a fucking liberal. My mother admitted on the video. Oh, her mother admitted on the video. We talked about this, Alexi, what happens and girls. Yeah, I just don't know if that was just like if she like just mixed a bunch of topics into one sentence and just like blurped it all out. It would be weird to me that the mom would have already preemptively talked to her daughter about disposing of unwanted pregnancy in a way where it was in like a trash bin or something like that. I think it was just like a whole blurb of things just kind of came out like, hey, we talked about this, which is we talked about, hey, are you pregnant or not? And you're lying to me. And about what happens with girls. And I don't know. I feel like it was like two sentences that was just combined into like one, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it was a very tense moment. I think there was a lot of shit going on. So.
I still haven't heard a word back. So it did happen on Saturday, but from
Yeah.
speaking with Wiedemann, the OMI person assigned to the case, he said we're not hearing anything yet. So he told me as soon as we find out, or as he finds out, he'll let me find out.
Are we getting him back? Did you know? We are getting him back, right?
You will, yes.
Okay.
And that's why I was telling y'all at the beginning that, with like names, stuff like that, and then who you want, like Turpin's son, who do you want to do end of life care with.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she believes her daughter. I think she believes her daughter. And I think that's why that it seems like at this stage, 3 days later, it seems like there's some acceptance where it's like, okay, I believe my daughter and maybe it's not as bad as what everyone else thinks. I don't know. I think it's just an easier way for her to accept the whole situation. I think she believes her daughter. Because for her to not believe her daughter, she would have to, one, deal with the fact that her daughter's a liar, her daughter's a murderer, and her daughter's a fucking idiot. And that's a lot to deal with as a parent, I think. I think she believes her daughter. I think it's just easier to accept that reality, but I don't know. That's just what I think. You think her mom seems cold? I didn't think her mom seemed cold. I don't know. I thought her mom seemed okay. Seems like, I don't know, normal human reactions during the body cam and stuff like that. Alexi, to me, seems a little cold. To me, it's something about her that was just like, ugh. As a mom, she's protecting her daughter. Her daughter was detached and in complete denial of the pregnancy. It wasn't real to her, so she was able to discard it like trash. Shaking my head. Celebrate prop, though? What is celebrate? What are we celebrating? The more I see and hear, the more the mom and the daughter disgust me. The mom sure wants to point out everyone, but the fact that who killed her grandson, then again, she acts as if he was never born. April, I think it's possible she's just in denial. You know, there are some people that just rather live in the reality where they're more comfortable with. Maybe as more evidence comes out with the trial, maybe at some point she'll change her mind about her daughter. If it is found that her mom or that her daughter did murder her own baby. But I think right now she's probably giving her daughter super benefit of the doubt. So.
When do you think
I don't know. That's not up to me.
When do you want? Okay.
So you know how so with it being tricky because technically you're not next of kin, it would be your daughter. Y'all would still be contacted with it because they'd have to find out where y'all want him to be transported to. Because some people picked him up from Albuquerque, because it's free of charge whenever they go from here to Albuquerque.
Okay.
And so it's free of charge coming back, but some people want to do, like with just other cases, they'll do it in Albuquerque because it's cheaper to cremate, stuff like that there. They have to get a hold of you first to they have to get a hold of her first to let them know what they want to do next. So they'll get a hold of you as soon as they're done with him. I don't know what's taking so long. Usually they don't.
Okay, no.
Oh, I meant they were celebrating, prom. I was so confused what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I saw that they went to prom a year before. Did they go to prom this year? I actually don't know. I'm not quite sure. I saw pictures from last year. Maybe they did this year. I don't know. I mean, honestly, if she was able to convince her boyfriend or family, like, hey, I gave birth. I was really scared. I didn't know what to do. But I gave birth to a stillborn. And she played the victim of being a mom that gave birth to a baby that died. I mean, that could give her a lot of sympathy, right? If they believe that's true. Like, oh my God, poor you. You didn't know you were pregnant. You gave birth to a baby and now you can't be a mother because it was a stillborn. That's really sad. So it's possible that she could have gotten a lot of sympathy from that if they believe that version of events.
We haven't even really, we've tried to talk about that, but she didn't know. She don't know.
Wait, she didn't what? Oh, is the mom saying that she didn't know she was pregnant?
Well, they have to get a hold of her first to let them know what they want to do next. So they'll get a hold of you as soon as they're done with him. I don't know what's taking so long. Usually they don't.
Okay, no, we haven't even really, we've tried to talk about that, but she didn't know. She don't know.
Well, in town we have turpentine. Roswell has way more options for like mortician stuff like that.
Oh, like she doesn't know whether or not to cremate or bury the baby?
Because you have to talk about, do you want to do cremation, do you want to do burial, stuff like that.
Okay.
And so that's because she is of age, so she would be having to be the one to sign off on everything. Because and I don't know y'all's financial situation, but y'all guys may be able to pay for it, but she still has to be the one to sign off on stuff with how that goes. Because with OMI and stuff like that, it has to be who's immediately next.
Oh, okay. When children can come to the parents and talk to them instead of playing the blame game, they're being open-minded. It's super liberal parenting. I just think I think humans just tend to want to protect their family, their friends. They tend to sometimes be in denial when there might be some wrongdoing by family and friends. And they tend to want to believe them because they're like, oh, I know them. from the mom's case would be like, I've raised her. I know her. I've known her since she was born. I know she wouldn't do that. So I think it's possible that, you know, humans just kind of tend to want to believe your loved ones. But if there's evidence that comes out that shows that, yeah, your daughter fucked up, I hope she changes her mind. I hope she still won't blindly try to protect her daughter. If we do find out that her daughter did what we think she did, right? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if the defense comes out with stuff that will be in favor of Alexi Trevizo and show that she didn't really know and blah, 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 I don't know. Maybe the case could be in her favor. But at this point right now, it just looks really bad. But I don't like it when people do it, but I can understand that people tend to protect their loved ones and want to believe them. But, you know, we'll see.
Okay, so it's one of those that they will get a hold of her.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The trash thing is really hard for me to reconcile with. That's a tough one. That's like really turning a blind eye. It's like, why did you call the hospital staff? How did you 100% know baby wasn't breathing? Why did you try to clean it up? I don't know. I would just have so many questions. But this is a hard thing they're going through with. And I don't know. Sometimes being in denial just helps you process it better. But in the long run, I don't think it's healthy.
And with that, something you and her would talk about what you guys want to do, and him.
Oh, that's not her. That's her sister.
Yes. Okay.
And, you know, keep that involved.
Okay.
But it's one of those things you always all have to mesh out.
Yeah. Okay. We will do
All
that.
right, we'll
But thank you so much.
get a hold of you tomorrow. Make
Okay.
sure. All right.
Sounds good.
All right,
Okay,
thank you,
see
ma'am.
you tomorrow. Bye.
And then I don't know, like parents that are out there, right? Like I'm sure there are people out there that are the best parents that they can be. And no matter how good of a parent you are, sometimes you just end up with a dipshit kid, you know, and it's just maybe just not your fault. I don't know. Like, I know we want to place a lot of blame on the mom, but it is possible that maybe the mom just did everything she could and her daughter just really is just a dum-dum. And I don't know. I don't know. Because, like, her mom has other kids. Are they in jail for anything? I don't know. We don't know, right? But sometimes you just might have a kid that just nothing you can do, you know? So I'm not really, I'm not, I don't want to blame the mom too much yet. I'll wait for more shit to come out. But yeah, I don't know. There are things I will criticize about the mom, but I don't know. Just sometimes you just have a dipshit kid and it's just not really... Sometimes there's just so much that parents can just do, you know? The mother still acts like it wasn't human. Off I'd be crying for years. I don't know. Maybe it was just really horrible shock. I did see the mom trying to ask the police officer where the baby was found, and something else about the baby. And I think the stepfather tried to ask too, but the police wasn't giving them enough information. They were like, oh, we don't know. We don't have the information yet. We don't have information yet. So it's possible they were trying to get information, but then like they weren't getting any from the police. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they asked about the baby off camera because we're only looking at the body cam footages, right? And from what the hospital staff are saying, but you blame that mom. I don't know. I don't feel super comfortable blame the mom just yet. But yeah, I don't know. I do agree. I do see some of the blame game happening with the mom though. All right, y'all. Anything else with the Trevizo stuff before we move on? Anything else you guys want to discuss about? Because the next case that we're talking about, oh my God, this one's wild. I was reading some stuff and I almost spit out my food. It was, I don't know. Do you guys remember the Jodi Arias trial where Jodi said that Travis got into a football stance, like a football stance, and then like ran towards her, and that's why she felt like she was being threatened, and she had to kill him? Well, this next case, I was reading some of the events that had transpired from the ballerina's perspective, and it just didn't really make sense. Some of it, a lot of it just sounds kind of BS-y. And I wanted to share that with you guys. Not the clown. Listen, I think we might potentially have another clown, okay? Similar to Jody. The trial hasn't happened yet, and I'm willing to keep an open mind, but so far, from what I'm reading and what I'm hearing, it's just not looking good. I'm gonna use the bathroom really quick, and then we'll get to Ashley Benfield. But her trial's coming up real soon. Oh, also, I think the Trevizo stuff, I think it's been pushed. Give me 1 second. Oh, did anyone here made a Thread account yet? There's like a new social media platform called Thread or something. Jesus. I don't even know what it is. Jewel says the hospital is negligent, bears some responsibility. The first test suggested she was pregnant. She said she had to poop really bad. Had they looked, they would have seen that she was crowning. We'll see. We'll see what her defense comes up with. I don't know. I think blaming the hospital staff is going to be kind of not a good look. But hey, if they got something, oh, listen. Oh yeah, I think it got pushed. Okay, so initially the Trevizo pre-trial trial stuff was going to happen, I think, in October. They probably asked for they asked for a continuance in June. Continuance, and we got pre-trial. Oh man, it's going to be like 1 year. Pre-trial in January 2024, jury trial February 2024. That'll be an interesting one. Oh yeah, for sure, Claudia, for sure. The attorney would try and play her as a victim. We've already listened to his interview. He was like, this poor woman had just lost her son. It's like, listen, I'm trying to feel bad, but I can't because, the baby was found in a bin. Who is Ashley Benfield? Yeah, that's a good question. We'll definitely talk about it next. Let me use the restroom really quick. Oh, you want to say hi to Steve, by the way? He's sleeping right now. Steve! Oh, he's sleeping right now. Look at this little baby corgi. Is his eyes open? Oh, his eyes are open. Sometimes he sleeps with his eye open. All right, watch Steve. I'll be right back. We use the restroom. Get up and stretch. Oh, God, my calves